the sake of time, allow me to introduce our very next speaker. We will welcome Mr. Fadi Ghandour, who is the executive chairman of WAMDA Group, a platform that invests and nurtures entrepreneurship ecosystems across the Middle East. Fadi is also the founder of RMX, which is a global logistics company. And also Fadi is the founder of Ruwad, which is a social impact enterprise. Fadi, we're very happy to have you, so please help me welcome him.
Thank you, Diala. Can you hear me? Excellent. Thank you, Diala. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rhodes Scholars, SGLP. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor also to have been on the first panel, selection panel of the scholars, and I'm so impressed with what they have done. I spent some time with them yesterday, and they have not disappointed at all. They are thriving. So I am going to be talking to you about something that has nothing to do with my daily business life. So I'm going to talk about how entrepreneurship, how entrepreneurs, how the private sector can actually think of the issues that are socially impacting our society. How can we take ourselves as, let me see if I can get, can we get the slides here, please? Okay, hold on. You need to help me with this one. So I'll continue talking until the slides come out. So the story is about societies living on the margins, the less fortunate, the forgotten, and at the same time, the private sector that has neutralized itself outside of the development process, neglected themselves. They abandoned the story of feeling that they are part and parcel of society and its development, and they've left it only for certain segments of society. So governments are responsible for development. Civil society is responsible for development. But where does the entrepreneurial society stand? Where does the frame of mind of thinking that they are entrepreneurs and solution providers, and how do they become part of the process? And so this is a story of also Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Jordan, a little bit of Egypt also. So what we've done at Ruwad is exactly that. So it's about the dual side of society's marginalization. And we started here in Jabal al-Nadif in Amman. Jabal al-Nadif is in East Amman. I come from West Amman, where I come to the mountain there. It's one of the oldest communities in Jordan, 50, 60 years old, next to the municipality. And I meet Abu Kamil. He is part of the Jabal al-Nadif philanthropic arm that wants to help, whatever they can in their society. So I talk to Abu Kamil. I say, Abu Kamil, I'm coming here from, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a businessman. I want to see what we can do with you for society. So he looks at me and says, why? People like you don't show up here. Who are you? They questioned my intentions. There's a part of the Jabal al-Nadif is the Muhammad Amin irregular refugee camp for Palestinians. So are you here? Is there a conspiracy here to let the Palestinians keep this as their homeland? We don't want us to go back. Is this an American conspiracy, etc.? Why would a stranger like that pop up in our face? But he said, look, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Right? He's an old man. So he stood up and said, here's my problem. Here's what we are facing here in Jabal al-Nadif. So it's a 100,000 people community, 40% unemployment among youth. Not only among youth, 40% unemployment full stop. Right? So he said, we don't have a police station. In 1967, I stood up and asked government to provide a police station, and I'm still waiting, right? This is in 2005, and I'm quoting him, right? Our schools are run down, and these are government-owned schools, are run down. Nobody pays attention to it. We don't have a health clinic. We don't have a community center. We don't have a children's library, et cetera, et cetera. You can imagine when you visit any marginalized community, I mean, this is only a partial list. Post office. They need a post office because they get paid the government subsidy every year, every month, because they're under the poverty line. And then we need also, we have no legal support here. So everything you can imagine, he said. So what I told him, look, here's who I am. I'm a connected person. I need to admit that. I have networks. I can get government to listen to me, maybe. Okay, we pride ourselves as being powerful people, so we rub shoulders with the right people. We provide employment because we're businessmen, we're private sector, we're entrepreneurs, and our brain, technically, most of us, some of us, think that if we see a problem, we need to find a solution. So instead of thinking of the solution as a business opportunity, can we think of it as a social impact opportunity? Is there a value to thinking beyond a profit and think that societal well-being is something that benefits everyone in society, including the business community? Can we take our mind away from thinking how can we monetize to how can we actually create social impact because we're able to? It's a very simple process. So when they asked me why, I said, because I can, because I am a citizen of this society, because this is a way for me as an individual and as a company, as a community from the people that have made it, to participate in development, to become citizens of value beyond our immediate businesses. And being who we are and having that process of being under pressure all the time as a business person, I have to deliver when I promise, unlike politicians. So, and this is the school. This is Attica School, 50-year-old school, the oldest school in the building. It has about 8 rooms. It serves 750 students under grade 6. So you've seen, for those of you that have been, this, I'm not saying anything unusual. You see this, wherever you go in marginalized communities, this school is there. There's a morning shift and there's an afternoon shift, because that's the only way you can get there. I'm not talking about post-Syrian crisis, so that you can have 4 shifts rather than 2 shifts, right? This is about Jordanian kids that live in the immediate neighborhood. So we fixed it. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to waste time on how I got the government to approve a private sector initiative to fix a school. That's not theirs. That's another story altogether. But we fixed it. And we keep fixing it every year. So we adopted this school and about 4 or 5 schools around it. And then we stopped doing that, except for this school, because we feel so close to it, and it's right next to our community center. And then health clinic, in partnership with government. It took me 2 years to convince the government that I'm going to equip it, I'm going to pay for it, but I want a doctor. Because without a doctor, from the public sector, you cannot refer people to public sector hospitals. That's what matters. I could have gotten a private sector doctor, but it's meaningless. They need to go to public, because their insurance is in public hospitals. And we lobbied to get a police station. And we built the community center. And we brought the post office. And we built Maktabat Shams al-Jabal, which is the only place where kids can go and read and go and experience things that they don't have in their community. They walk in by the hundreds. They leave the school and they automatically by themselves. No, we didn't market this. You see a bookstore, a place where they can learn, and they will walk in. Right? They will come to experiences. And then we built a community center. Our رواد is المؤسسة العربية للتنمية المستدامة, which is the Arab Foundation for Sustainable Development. Private sector led, private sector financed, along in partnership with various civil society, and we built a platform that solves problems. Right? So once you deliver, that original distrust becomes, okay, maybe there's something happening there with these strange people that came to us. So from asking me whether my money is legitimate, whether I am money laundering, or whether I'm a conspiracy theory, I'm bringing an American Western Zionist conspiracy to settle people in Jabal al-Nadif, to saying maybe we can give them a chance, right? And then there's all sorts of other, I'm not going to get into it, other ideological activists on the ground who questioned the people that are coming from outside of the community and doing stuff. So we fought it. We're stubborn. We said we want to do it. And whoever fought us, the community told us, you are safe. We want to send our girls and boys there. And when I say girls and boys, it was so essential, the question of girls and boys. Because the first question that I was asked by the community when I came in there, along with my team, There's no boys and girls in the same room. There was a big question for them. Why? You can't send, it's super conservative. And then eventually, all sorts of magic happens when they feel that they trust you. This is a safe place. I can send my daughter there. It's safe, right? So I'm not going to explain this. This is our model. We built a platform. This is in partnership with the community. So everything that we did was always with them. It was based on their issues. We didn't come and parachute and tell them, here's what you need. The aid agencies mentality, that we know better. We don't know better, but we can partner with you so that we can solve with you for the issues that you are actually highlighting for us. So it's citizen-led completely. Today, we started more with us, meaning the people that came from outside, to eventually completely the community actually taking care of that. And at the heart of that story, by the way, is our youth fund. This is what I think is innovative about what you do. It's nothing different than what you do here at Rhodes, except we go to the kids that are from the margins. We give them scholarships. We give about 700 scholarships across all the 8 centers, and I'll explain further. In return, every kid, university age, has to give us 4 hours of volunteer work and community work in their community every single week, right? So this is about character building, parallel learning, real-world learning outside of what you read in the books in our universities. So we will choose them. They don't have to be the best students. We're not choosing the best. We're choosing people that are able to continue their universities. They need that degree, but we're telling them, come, we'll build a community together, and we will build programs and projects so that we solve for the problems of the community that you live in. This is your community. You can act. You own your own street. Solve. If government is not there to address the issues and challenges that you have, but it's your street. It's your community. It's your neighborhood. Can we think together about solving these things? And so they have to give 4 hours. 4 hours of volunteer work every single week to continue to maintain their, and then all sorts of stuff happens, you know, community initiatives, it opened up, because once you're in the margins, there's all sorts of things that are needed. And so this is at the core of our model. And then we eventually felt that we have a platform, because we had people from the private sector, people from civil society, people from all sorts of parts of society that wanted to connect to those communities. How do I get there? I have an initiative. I want to do stuff. And so we said, okay, well, we're a platform. Ahlan wa sahlan. Come, work with us. You want to solve a certain problem. You have your own initiative. You want to have a place where you can do what you want to do, or test it, or try it, or work with the community on it. Come. It's yours. So I'll tell you, now I'll show you 4 videos about what we've done in various areas, because I have 45 minutes, and then eventually I'm going to be talking with Lillian a little bit, a Q&A. But one of the problems of societies there was, many societies, is that they felt that there was a violence at home issue. Mothers and kids clashing, school violence, teachers, and for those of us that went to school over there, we know that. So how do we address that issue? So we created campaigns. We used the Marshall Grants method, and Marshall Grants wrote a case study about what we've done for Harvard in community mobilization to solve the challenges of these communities. So video, please. I'm told that I need to say video. Right? Can we get this to work? Okay. It's a mother talking about her experience in being aggressive with her child. So we went out and did several campaigns. So we were also told that our kids don't read anything outside of the school books. There's no reading. So we did a massive mobilization for mothers to start reading for their kids at least 6 minutes a day, right? And it was a brilliant process. We did a similar program, like we did the one for safe homes. We said safe schools. So we brought teachers to come and confess to how they actually conducted themselves in classes. And then we brought students, and then we created that healing process. And when you come out and say what the sins that you have in the class when you're violent with the kids, and then you come out of it. So it was, we had hundreds, if not thousands, of people that did that. So what else can we do? The first legal aid program in Jordan, lawyers, top-notch lawyers, wanted to create a legal aid track. And so they said to us, can we try this in your community? And so today, for the past 5 years, we have a clinic, we have a legal aid office, 2 lawyers continuously there. They started by consultation, and they eventually started taking cases pro bono for these people. So these people, when I say on the margins, they don't know their rights, they don't know anything. They are just simply scared. They have family issues, and they have issues with the police, because there's all sorts of challenges there, drugs, petty crime, etc. How do you defend these people? So the lawyers have come and have done their thing. So we also brought in, can I get this video on, please? Because this is the internet, yes. All right, so Rula Atalla comes and says, I'm an artist. I want to work with people that are physically and mentally challenged, and I want to address them through art. Listen to this. Has English.
بتحس بتعامل معهم ببراءة، بعفوية، بتحس عالم الطفولة كله اللي الله خلقه فيهم. علي أحط لك عم ترسم تراس عليها؟ يلا قوم 1 2 3 أيوه هيا. يلا أيوه شوفي يلا.
أي مكان فنان بقيت أرسم وأنا صغير، وأول ما تعلمت الرسم بقيت أحب أرسم كثير.
هذا مكان صلصال للأولاد ذوات الاحتياجات الخاصة. الأولاد هون ببلشوا بتدربوا على صلصال.
الورشة اللي عم بتصير عنا هون هي عبارة عن تمرين فني ذهني سايكولوجي لشبابنا ذوي الاحتياجات الخاصة، تطوير رؤيتهم للحياة وللفن ورؤيتهم هم لنفسهم وإدماجهم قدر المستطاع بالمجتمع.
بتحس إشي بيعبر عن داخلهم، بإشي مش قادرين يحكوه بيطلعوه بهالقطعة هاي الحلوة.
إنتاجاتهم هي عبارة عن ترجمة حرفية لشخصيتهم هم شو هم، كيف بنقدر نربط.
And Hani is an artist that comes and volunteers.
إحساسهم الفني ببعض، يعني بالآخر بتكون روح واحدة، لأنه نوعاً ما يعني عندهم رهبة من المجتمع، فبالتالي بالآخر بصفوا هم تجمع مع بعض يحموا بعض نوعاً ما بالأفكار بالإنتاج.
المكان هذا كأنه إمهم وماله برضه حنية منهم، بحسوا بانبساط وحرية لما بيعملوا القطعة، لما هو بشكلها بإيده عماله بيحكي اللي جواه، روحهم اللي بترسم يعني على طبيعتهم، وأحلى ما يكون الطبيعة.
البراء هذا الفرزدق هذا الشيخ هذا، هاي ريشة الحبر، ريشة الحبر الصيني، ريشة الحبر الصيني.
كان زمان يقولوا أيمن المسنون عنه، بقول لي هلا الناس صاروا يحترموني، هلا صاروا يقولوا رسام أيمن، أنا منيح يعني، يا الله كيفوا على رسوماتي.
لما بلشت انا تحت كثير تغيرت انا واثرت على اولادي. هذول لما يشوفوا الناس بالنسبه لهذاك عامر كان من مره، والله كان لما يجي عندي ناس زي يشوفهم زي الوحوش قدامه. هلا شو تلاحظ على كيف صار يستقبل الناس، صار يطلع على الناس يلاحظ انه هو كانه صار يحس بحاله انه انسان.
Thank you. And so, thank you. So I'll tell you what we do here. I'll tell you what you do. So every year, twice a year, we do an exhibition for their work. We sell it, and then we recycle it. They earn a living out of it, and then the program continues. So as we funded it, Rula from Salsal funded it originally, but then their work continued to self-fund. So it became a sustainable process because people got to see their work, and they produced fantastic work. The fish that you saw earlier was one of their work, and it's just absolutely brilliant what they can come up with. I'm not going to show you this video because it doesn't talk about, no, let's not do this one, please. The next one we will do. But in Lebanon, in the north of Lebanon, I need to tell you, our center is in between Babet. Can you? No. Yeah. Thank you. So we are. This is yes. Leave this for a second. So we are between Babet Tibbani and Jabal Mehsen. So Babet, for those of you, Jabal Mehsen is the Alawite community, and Babet Tibbani is a Sunni community. And our center is exactly in the middle. 50% of our students come from Jabal, and the other 50% come from the other side of the street, which it sits on a street called Shari' Dimashq, right? Damascus Street. And we took us a long while to get mothers and fathers to allow these kids. We have 2 entrances, literally, 2 entrances, but they come in and meet inside, and they discover that 99.9% everything about them is the same. They're marginalized, they face the same issues, they come and have discussions around their life, and then what the heck, what happened, right? And this current Syrian revolution, in quotations I should say, is about people saying, well, you know, where's this sectarian story? Because we're all facing the same challenge at the end of the day. So we created that photo that you saw is an income-producing kitchen that has mothers from both sides that have lost kids. So they come and heal around cooking, and they sell what they cook, and they generate income. And last year, we created two scholarships in the community from the income that they own, that they generated over there. And now we're also in Azbat Khairallah, in the heart of Cairo. Can we, just to show you the visualization of what margins mean from city to city.
احنا عايشين في العزبة زي اي حد عايش في اي منطقة عشوائية. احنا عندنا شباب بيشربوا مخدرات، عندنا شباب مع كمية بطالة برضو عالية، مش نسبة قليلة، بس دي مشكلة دولة، مشكلة مجتمع، مشكلة شعب كامل، مش مشكلة عزبة خيرالله نفسها.
حاسس دايما انا مهجور في المنطقة ديت، مفيش الخدمات المتكاملة، مفيش انترنت، مفيش نقطة شرطة، مفيش مستشفى، مفيش مكان نقدر يعني مركز شباب نقدر نلجأ له موجود في العزبة.
سمعت كتير من الناس ان العزبة مثلا وحشة ومكان ده اوحش مكان في القاهرة عامة، وان اللي بيخشها ما بيقدرش يطلع، ده خلاص كده اللي هم الناس هناك بياكلوا بني ادمين بالظبط. انزل العزبة وشوف ناس العزبة عاملين ازاي، واي منطقة فيها سلبيات وفيها ايجابيات، ده اللي اقدر اقوله عن العزبة. والعزبة عامة فيها شباب زي الفل جدا وبتشتغل، وناس فيها مواهب كتير جدا، فيها اصوات حلوة جدا، بس ناس عايزة تكتشف.
مشكلة الناس اللي بره شايفانا بطريقة مش كويسة، شايفة ان العزبة دي مكان مليان بلطجة، مكان فيه اسلحة كتير، مكان فيه كمية مخدرات بطريقة رهيبة. بالتالي فلما مثلا الناس تيجي تتكلم عن العزبة تتكلم عنها من منظور ان العزبة دي زي اي مكان تاني، ما يستحقرش الانسان اللي ساكن فيه.
انا بحب الاطفال جدا من زمان، وانا كنت بقول انا لما اكبر ان شاء الله عايزه افتح حضانه تكون ليا او افتح جمعيه خيريه لذوي الاحتياجات الخاصه. شايفه ان المجتمع هو اللي بيبص لهم وحش، لكن هم ناس جميله جدا. انا شايفاهم هم ناس عاديه جدا، بيغلطوا بيتاسفوا بيعملوا حاجات حلوه. من اهم المشاكل اللي احنا كنا في العزبه بنسعى ان احنا نحلها وجود انترنت. يعني يعتبر الغرفه اللي احنا فيها دلوقتي دي الغرفه الوحيده اللي فيها انترنت في العزبه. كتير فئات من الشباب اللي في الجامعات واللي بيفكروا يبداوا يطلعوا افكار جديده،
وفي شباب عملوا مؤسسات انها بتنمي الاطفال وبتنمي برامج للشباب وبرامج لمحو الاميه. كل ده موجود، يعني في حاجات كتيره جدا الناس شغالين فيها وادينا بنحاول.
العزبة زيها زي أي مجتمع فيها أولاد وناس من مسيحيين ومسلمين ومن ديانات مختلفة. واحدة من الحاجات المهمة بالنسبة لنا إزاي الناس دي تبقى بتقعد مع بعضها وإزاي الناس تبقى بتتقابل وبتحكي. يمكن قبل كده هو ما كانش فيه دوت وفيه تحدي بالنسبة لنا، بس أول ما بدأنا رواد كان حاجة مهمة إن الشباب يجوا من كل الديانات ويتقابلوا ويشتغلوا مع بعض ويحتكوا ببعض بدل ما كل مجموعة قاعدة لوحدها. إحنا بندي رسائل إن إحنا يا جماعة زي بعض عايشين، بيجمعنا إن إحنا بشر عايشين في مكان واحد.
So we gave examples of cities. I want to show you just another example that we've done in Little Petra. For those of you that know Jordan, there's a small town. Small town, when I say small town, a couple hundred people in the south of Jordan, right next to Petra. It's called Al Bayda, but tourists know it as Little Petra. And so, just to show you a little bit, we gave the first 4 scholarships for women in the community, ever. You know, the boys leave school at the age of 15 because they want to work in the tourism industry to earn a living, and the girls go to school. And so the first teacher, and you will see her now, the first teacher in the local school, micro school, they needed to bus teachers to come to that school. The first teacher that graduated from a Ruwad scholarship eventually became the leader of that school, and she is the leader of she's our partner, and she's the first teacher in the school. Can we just a couple of minutes that gets you to feel the different terrain from city? They don't feel they're on the margins, by the way. These are not, they don't feel they're on the margins. They just need a little bit of exposure.
احنا اليوم في منطقة البيضاء.
I'll translate in a bit.
مرحبا فيكم واهلا هلا باللي لفونا مسايير عدل المطر واعداد وابلى السحابة.
منطقة البيضاء هي
من
مدينة البتراء الوردية في جنوب.
He's one of the leaders of the local community.
تقريبا 12 كيلومتر إلى الشمال من مدينة البتراء النبطية وعاصمة المملكة النبطية. هي منطقة يعني جمال، تمتاز بالجمال الطبيعي والمناظر الطبيعية وفيها تاريخ قديم.
So he's our local sponsor. We don't go to a community just like that. So he became our partner to actually get us to be there.
قرية بيضاء بالتحديد هي سكانها.
And the visual tells you the story anyway.
عائشة العمارين خريجة من
And this is our leader there.
التنمية، أول معلمة في قرية البيضاء، حالياً الآن منسقة في مكتبة شمس البيضاء في مجال الدعم الأكاديمي.
أربع بيوت مبنية عليها أحلام أردنية.
Just to give you the idea of the variety, because the whole idea. Can we move to the next one, please?
البيضاء والمعلمة الوحيدة من أبناء القرية. لمست معاناة الطلبة في القراءة والكتابة، فكان هذا الشيء مزعج بالنسبة لي كوني بنت بلد. وأيضا
so that we have another center in Natafile. We don't need to do this one. We have another center in Natafile, which is in the south of Jordan. Again, the whole idea is that there's a local leader that says, we love your model, can you come over and do it with us? So we partner always private sector led and financed with the local community. And then we went to, we have thousands of scholarships, I'll show you that later. But we also went to Palestine about 7 or 8 years ago. I visited Budros. For those of you that don't know Budros, Google it. Budros is the first, they had a civil disobedience process to move the wall outside of their land, and they succeeded. International community, with the local community, with Fatah, with Hamas, with everyone, they moved, and it was led by women. I have a beautiful video on it, but it takes a long time. You should see that. It's an award-winning film that was made by a Brazilian Lebanese director. And so we went to Budros after I saw the video. I went and visited Budros and discovered that not a single student wants to pass the Tawjihi exam, which is the 12th grade. So I said, why? They said, so why if we pass, we're not gonna and go to university? One, we can't afford it. Number two, we don't have transportation to get to a university in Palestine because there's no public transportation in that village. And number three, there are no jobs. So if we go and study, So what's the purpose of getting a college degree when we're not getting a job? So I said to them, and that was about a couple of months before Tawjihi exams, I said, anyone that passes is going to get a scholarship. And today we have about 70 scholarships a year. We went into 3 villages, in Na'lin, Budrus, and Qibya. So we have small micro centers that look like this. And they have a library, and they have exactly what you would see in any other ruwad. But these are villages of 2,000, 5,000, 3,000 people. Again, and we mobilize the private sector over there to come and be part of it. So far, this is a couple of years old. We've done about 2,500 scholarships and numerous programs that we've done over there. Because it's a platform, the UNDP came to us and they said, we have a fund. We want to create micro businesses, equity-based, not debt-based. This is not microfinance. This is micro-equity, to create micro businesses across various communities in Jordan. So we've done that program, and we've done a similar program with the City Foundation in Lebanon and in Jordan. And it's a platform. Anybody from the private sector, anybody from, you can read any name here, so civil society, ICRC, you name it. Legal Aid Fund, they come. This is a platform. Come and impact society if you want to actually become relevant and not disposable. And so your disposable story is so powerful. So this is a story of coming out from being disposable and being counted and giving meaning to life. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Energy. I have the very difficult task of further unleashing Fadi's energy. Thank you so much for that, Fadi. I think it's safe to say that from last night till today, we've gone through so many emotional, I suppose, ups and downs, and mainly ups, really, but from the performance starting off last night and everything that's kind of made us feel, and to the inspirational opening with the poetry, to a very realistic reflection on the challenges of the region, and then a very energetic, and it will continue to be, I'm here mostly to facilitate a bit more conversation, but very energetic direction setting by Fadi and his important work in the region. Very quickly, my name is Lillian Thomas. I'm half Lebanese. That's the good half. I'm also a Canadian Rhodes Scholar. I came to Oxford in 2009. And my relationship to this, to SJLP and this community is I've had the great privilege in 2015 to start the conversation with the Saeed Foundation and the Rhodes Trust to help build the scholarship. And I have been the inaugural National Secretary since then. So my role is very much to bring the greats.
You recruited me.
I recruited, thank you. I did, well, that's
and
flattering.
Happily.
I was going to say my role has been to bring together the great minds of the Fadi, of Eugene, of many others that are in the room, to help us really select the scholars in the region, to find the people that end up coming to Oxford, but most of all, to inspire more and be inspired by them. So it's been, I would say, the greatest privilege of my life so far, to be honest, to be part of this process. It's our small little way of giving back. Okay, so I've given you a bit of breathing space, but I know you'll continue to fire out.
Yeah, we have 15 minutes, so we'll...
Ignore this.
We'll
take our own time.
They'll go to sleep.
Because I really want to make sure, I'm sure there's plenty of questions, and what I'll do is I'll warm you up again, but then open the floor for as many remarks as you want, and I'll be writing down, and hopefully, in some logical way, feeding them back to Fadi. But Fadi, it's very inspirational to see all of your work as a philanthropist, and obviously, beyond that one hat that you wear, you also wear a variety of hats that are very relevant to the topic at hand. So you're a businessman. You have created created one of the biggest businesses in the Middle East. You have somehow managed to convince 22 countries to work with you on Aramex. You was the first company to be publicly listed on NASDAQ. That's from the MENA region, and then you bought it back and then listed it again in Dubai. That's another story, but we're talking about over $1 billion in revenue to this day, and you're still the acting chairman. So that's another hat that you wear.
I'm only a director now, no longer a chairman.
Oh, Afwan, okay, sorry. But still,
I'm still there. I'm still there.
30 years of building.
38 years.
38 years of You know,
My
your
38
Wikipedia
year.
page is not up to date.
Yeah, it should be.
38 years of building what is an impressive conglomerate, I suppose. So that's your other hat. You're obviously a son, a father, a brother, a husband, and clearly that drives a lot of your kind of moral and value and commitment to the region. But you also now invest in startups, which is quite interesting. To me, there's so many contrasts in all the hats that you wear, from someone who's fought and played the long-term game with Aramex for 38 years to now someone that invests in startups that are agile, that are fast turnaround, etc. And I suppose to try to link economic development as a topic, but really human capital as what we've all nailed down as what brings us all together. I was hoping you can reflect a bit more, and maybe I'm going to make this unfair and turn a question that you used in our selection committee on scholars, and some of you who were there will remember this question. I'm opening the secret sauce of the interviews here. But Fadi's view was that we talk too much about tragedy, about broken systems, about failures when it comes to the Middle East. And he really wanted to see in the candidates what their views of opportunities in the region are, what their views of hope are. And we've just seen what your actions of hope are. But can you, now that I'm interviewing you, can you perhaps reflect at this day and age through your multiple hats what your views of opportunity in the 4 countries that we're looking at are?
Look, as you've eloquently explained, you know, the issue of, and as Baha had been talking about in his talk earlier, so there's no lack of challenges, there's no lack of failures, there's no lack of problems in the region. And I grew up much earlier than Baha, thinking the same things that you were thinking. I mean, the challenges that we talk about today, maybe they've multiplied in many countries, but we've always talked about our failures, you know, from the Palestinian cause all the way up to every civil war and every failed state, if you want, in the region. But at the same time, and we talk about youth and the youth challenge, and some people call it the youth bulge. So what, I mean, such a derogatory word. You know, the Arab world has a youth bulge. So what does that mean? I mean, it's like, you know, there's this disease that we have. 60% of our countries are under the age of 30. I mean, other than thinking of them as an opportunity and as a real opportunity, we say, you know, bulge. So it's like as if we want to get rid of them. But they're the next generation. They're the people that are going to be solving the problems that we talk about. So how do you give them hope? How do you give them opportunity? And there are pockets of opportunity, okay? Not everything fails. Not everything fails. And these kids have their own initiatives, their own way of thinking. So what I do, in my own way, right? I don't want to solve the problems of the region, nor the problems of the world. I want to take my skill set and my capabilities and apply them to where I can make a difference at the end of the day, and give a little bit of hope here and there. So it's and get these kids and these, I call them kids, they're entrepreneurs who come out and want to solve for some of the challenges. Some of them are commercially viable, some of them are not commercially viable, some of them are for social impact. So at the end of the day, I do my part of that story. So they have the idea, they have the solution, they've built the technology. They lack a little bit of knowledge about how to maneuver around the region and scale their businesses and their startups beyond the geography that they live in. And I'm able to give them capital and maybe advice and mentor them in actually telling them how to maneuver and how to navigate the different regulatory challenges in the region. How do I move a company to scale from Amman to Dubai or from Amman to Riyadh? How do I help a Palestinian startup that has many difficulties? And you know, they start in Palestine full of hope, and then they discover there's all sorts of walls around them. Not only walls on the western side on the wall, but there's walls on our side. How does a Palestinian export products to the Arab world, etc.? So, I mean, the whole idea is, and that's why the question was asked when we were doing, for me, was, you know, I know the problems, but can we think of solutions? Can we think of opportunities? And there are plenty of them, plenty of them. So the whole idea is, like you've seen with Ruwad, is we can do something about it. And a community at a time, an entrepreneur at a time, an initiative at a time. And talking to the students here, to the scholars, that if you go back, you can create your own initiative. You can make a difference. I mean, don't get overwhelmed that the Arab world has it. Don't talk Arab world, talk community. Localize it. Where is it that you can make a difference? Who can you partner with to actually take that idea and develop on it so that you solve for whatever you want to solve?
Can I pick that up?
So just, this is the practical side of the story, so that we don't get overwhelmed.
And while everyone thinks about their next question, but I want to pick that up because as part of the advice that you've been very generous giving around to multiple scholars, obviously there is this question of a lot of us that train outside of the region have a real dilemma from the outset of how do we contribute going back, or when do we go back, or what format, whom with, within government, within institutions, from the outside, from here, from what Eugene very eloquently called a vantage point or tower, or ivory, whatever it is. How does that happen? Because
plug into a platform. That's all I'm saying. This is an example. There's so many people that come and plug to what we do, and there are so many other initiatives. Just plug into them. You don't have to start from scratch. Or if you're starting from scratch, then plug into somebody that has already gone away in being present in whichever community they're working with. There's no lack of initiatives. In Gaza, there's the Gaza Sky Geeks. Gaza Sky Geeks is an accelerator that gets kids who are software engineers to build things. There's a lot of back office work that happens in Gaza because, I asked Google, because Google does some work over there. I said, what are you doing in Gaza? They said, we have the best software engineers in Gaza. And for the wrong reason, by the way. I mean, one, they're brilliant. Number two, they don't have much to do, so they become coders. And they become brilliant coders. And so they like them. They like them. So there are things stuff happens. So plug into platforms. If not, create your own thing and find a way to actually make it work. So the whole idea is take the initiative, take the first step, jump into it.
And call Fadi at some point.
And I'm happy. There are many others. I'm just one example. Yeah.
And I'm going to open it. Already, excellent. 1, 2, 3. I might. Would you like to? I'm going to take 3 at a time, and then we'll feed them in. And there's a mic circulating, so that's great.
Saeed Ismail, a Saeed scholar, alumni. So Fadi, I have a comment, a personal question, and a general one. The comment is that you select your communities really carefully, and I have to applaud you and congratulate you.
Thank you.
One of those, the one in Jabal Nadif, I know very well. And for those who doesn't know Jabal
We have one of our scholars here. Mustafa, where is he? I just discovered that he is in Edinburgh now. Yes, so fantastic. He moved from Jabal Nadif, got the scholarship, and then now he's excelling in the University of Edinburgh.
To tell you how he chose Jabal Nadif, I grew up 5 kilometers from Jabal Nadif. I've never been there in my entire life. It's somewhere.
People are scared to go to Jabal Nadif.
Only if you live there, you go there. There's no services, there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing. And they are also out of the radar of the UN and the other humanitarian international agencies. Because they're not a refugee camp, but they're even worse than a refugee camp.
But they are a refugee, so they're in a gray area.
Yes. So another round of applause for his choices of the community.
Thank you.
The personal question, and that's a quick one. Which one gives you more satisfaction? Rawad, what you did in Jabal Nadif, or Arabics?
No, I'll tell you, and today, if you're asking me now, right? Rawad by far. And that's where, I won't tell you my age, but I'm a bit older than you are.
Yes,
and
you are.
and
Oh,
the
yes.
next phase, I think this is where, that's flying, right? They don't need me anymore. I think the sense of purpose comes somewhere else now. And to continue to exist, you need a sense of purpose so that you're not disposable anymore.
So one last question.
So that disposable story is so powerful, and you scared the heck out of me.
The general question.
Yes, please.
The general question, very quickly, which is, those who did work in this part of the region tried to make such initiatives. One of the main difficulties was actually dealing with the government.
Right.
I've started one.
I have so many war stories for you.
And so you did it because you're connected.
And I'll tell you, I'm connected, and I had so much difficulty, right? And I'll tell you, fixing the school. So Khalid Tuqan was the Minister of Education then. Khalid is a friend of mine. This is back, I don't know, it's 12, 13 years ago. I went to Khalid, I said, Khalid, I want to fix this specific school. Literally, I took the letter with me, and Khalid said, Muwafiq, I approve, right? He said, okay, go see this guy that does procurement and does fixing schools. I went to him, he said, you know, give me the money, I want to fix the school. I said, I'm not going to give you the money, I want to fix the school myself. He said, no, you're not going to get to fix the school. So what did I do? Now I can say it. I went to the headmistress of the school, right? And I fixed everything with her without the approval of government. And did you think government went to see the school? They didn't see it. They didn't see it. So even when they visited, they look at it and say, okay, it's a lovely school. How did you fix it? So I didn't want to take ownership of that story. The headmistress said, I'm innovative, right? I partner with the right people. You know, the school's budget is $1,500 a year. Imagine, 700 kids.
Yeah, but there was Fadi and there was Tuqan as a minister.
No, but you have, and the whole idea is I bring the assets that I have. That's not only money, that's access also.
Thank you very much.
Right, I'll pick up another couple of questions and I'll try to rein you in so we can get as much.
Hi.
Tell me who you are.
Hi, this is Nada Al-Bunni. Maybe I should say I'm alumni. I got scholarship from Said in 2006, and then I went back.
From where are you?
Syria.
You're Syrian.
You're going to know because I'm going to speak so much about this
Yes.
in my experience. So actually, before I went to the scholarship, I was always believing in the technology that with the web too that can change of the status quo for the youth in Syria. So I started with the first thing I really loved was Wikipedia in the beginning, very beginning, because we see that we need encyclopedia in Arabic that's accessible. That is the same what you try to make it like a library. And then when I got the scholarship, I went back and I was working at University of Damascus in IT school, engineering school. I was teaching there. And then I made an initiative. It is grassrooting things, and that's actually, you inspired me so much. I mean, you get something that of my old years, where I spent lots of years working in this project, believing in this thing, which is called, I want to give the name in the book, I give it a name, Wikilogia, which is wiki, which is, I always believe that cooperation and cooperation become with a new definition with technology. So this word, the old word, would not work, because now you can't work with someone somewhere else, with all the globe, or, someone who worked 2 years ago with someone who would never know how they look, if they are gay or boy, or all these issues that was barrier before. So the cooperation is not enough word. That's why I made it like, this is Wikilogia. And actually the thing that I always see people speaking about was in TED Talks. So what I started to talk to guys who are busy, trying to get like, best mark in the school. So they are just doing their homework, their things, and so they are so busy. But I could actually talk to them through that, like, look at the successful people. We start with, like, for example, the TED Talks.
But we're going to take a couple questions.
Yeah. It's okay. I just
ask the question. I can't wait to have a Ruwad in Syria.
Yeah, no. The thing is, like, someone like, temporarily until we get it like to the people to make the corporation. The thing is, I was always threatened by the government, like, the conspiracy issue. Of like, Nada, if you do something for nothing, for no money, because I'm not funded with anyone, I'm doing all the things for free. And
they question your intentions.
Actually, I tried to make okay, I'll make the question so quickly. I make it with Syrian Computer Society, and that is like, what happened after that, now if you look at Wikilogia now, it is something that help use to get the market. They used to get to the global market. They change all the objectives. I draw it off all my dreams to be something else. Actually, I've been getting out with like
They're getting impatient with
How
you.
you could
What's the
do
question?
this?
How can I help you?
No,
Let's talk outside.
How could you go with this? How you can think of getting to Syria with this, like, and be,
Yeah, I know.
Look. The
Not
thing
now,
is,
not now.
Let me make it quick. So
When time
those
allows.
people who do the development, do make research.
There's a coffee break right after where you can have a deeper dive.
We'll have a deeper dive. One more question.
One more question,
Nada.
That the question is, like, the development is always done with someone belong to the family of Assad, like it was like Syrian Community Society was.
Yes, I know all these stories.
And you know, development, the trust is for
Yes.
Asma. So how you think like you can do such things?
At this stage, I can't do anything in Syria. At this stage, but I said in time. And we can talk outside. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Balsam Ahmed. I'm one of the very old Said Foundation scholars. In 1996, I graduated. I was one of the first to go into public health from pharmacy. And I was called crazy at the time, so I remember, Said, I talked to you. My question, I'll be very brief, but I think a lot of I work at the moment as a consultant in public health in local government in the UK, and a lot of the issues that you described are issues we are grappling with here in marginalized communities. The role of the private sector in community development, the co-production. My question is, has any of, your very inspiring stories and the work that you've done has been independently evaluated? I'd be very interested as in terms of that global health learning from examples to use your stories in,
Absolutely.
especially if they have been independently evaluated, because as public health, I have to use it as evidence.
Absolutely.
So I would like to ask about that particular.
Yeah, so I think I heard the question well. I'll tell you, we have doctors that come and actually do surveys there. We had a dentist from Jordan University that came and did a complete survey of the dental issues because they don't get covered, as you know, by insurance. So she did a complete program with them, and then she actually started doing intervention and helping them out.
So are these interventions that you are implementing, the interventions that you are, kind of leading on? So, for example, whether investing in education, upgrading infrastructure, have these interventions been evaluated? I would be interested in that particular thing, rather than the baseline.
Okay.
Baseline kind of community issues.
Yeah,
Those are the things that we could learn from.
So whether we've done impact assessment. So we do. We have a couple of. We did one about 4 or 5 years ago, and we're doing another. We continuously bring in people to actually make sure that we don't feel good about ourselves, and then there is an independent story that tells us what works, what doesn't work, what does the community feel about it beyond, because there's a benefit relationship there, right? So they're always going to tell us good stuff, but we want to bring somebody from outside to actually tell us the truth brutally, and we love that. So yeah, we're done.
Look,
Done?
I invite you all to find him over coffee now, and I'm sure
Thank
you're
you.
going to have a most passionate exchange about all of the wonderful views and
Thank you.
events.
Thank you, Lillian, and thank you, everyone.
And thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
for being
Baha.
so patient.
Thank you, everyone.